come to the meeting throughout the year. I want to thank especially our executive committee for service. This evening we have a very, very full agenda. We also have elections that are scheduled for this evening as well. At which we are going to elect officers for the upcoming. I thank everyone once again. At this time, we are now going to read the rules of order in the board meeting. So this meeting of New York City Community Board 9 is called to order on June 30th, 2025 at St. Francis School for the Deaf at 260 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, New York, 11225. On under the book of the statutes of New York State, the New York State Charter, the bylaws of Community Board 9, and Robert's Rules of Order. All Community Board members shall be all Community Board meetings shall be conducted pursuant to the New York State Public Officers Law, the New York State Charter, the Open Meetings Law, and any other applicable laws. The Community Board's bylaws shall govern these meetings whether not conflict with the laws. Robert's Rules of Order shall govern meetings whether not conflict with applicable laws or bylaws. All Community Board members shall be provided with a reasonable opportunity to address the Community Board on any matter of the board or matter that pertains to the board meeting. During general board meetings, members of the public may be allowed to speak during the portion of the meeting designated as a public comment section. Subject to new modifications and guidelines established by the chair of the board or his or her designee, each public speaker shall sign in and give a brief description of what he or she will comment on prior to speaking. Public speakers will be allotted a time limit of 3 minutes, each commencing at the beginning of the speaker's remarks. Time cannot be shared or allotted for the speakers. 3 minutes. If the chair or his or her designee determines that there is not sufficient time at the meeting, the public comment session period will be referred to either the end of the general board meeting or the beginning of the next general board meeting. Public comment shall be 30 minutes in duration. During general board meetings and committee meetings, and outside of the public comment section portions of meetings, members of the public may ask questions and comment on agenda items only when recognized by the chair, committee chair, or their designee. All board members and members of the public shall conduct themselves in a courteous, professional, and orderly manner. Abstain threatening or harassing language, slander, threats of violence, personal attacks of any kind, or offensive comments that target or disparage any ethnic, racial, age, or religious group, gender, sexual orientation, disability status, or every other organization. No members of the public shall display signs or practice any disruptively applaud participants in debate, or engage in disorderly conversation or other disorderly behavior which may disrupt the city's meeting. Audio and video recordings of board meetings are permitted unless they interfere with meetings in accordance with the meeting. The recording must be conducted in a fixed location and in a manner which does not interfere with the meeting. The chair or his or her designee shall have the discretion to prohibit video or audio recording that interferes with the meeting. Recording is not permitted during the executive session. Any board member or member of the public who uses obscene, threatening, or harassing language, slander, threats of violence, personal attacks of any kind, or offensive comments that target or disparage any ethnic, racial, age, or religious group, sexual orientation, disability status, or otherwise become disorderly while in a board meeting, shall be removed from the board meeting with the discretion of the chair or his or her designee. No board member or member of the public shall be permitted to speak on cellular telephone or community board meeting while the meeting is in progress other than for emergency. All cellular telephones are required to be turned off or vibrate mode. During general board meetings, the enforcement of this code of conduct shall be conducted under the direction of the chair or his or her designee. During committee meetings, the enforcement of this code of conduct shall be conducted by the chair or his or her designee. The New York City Police Department and Building Security may assist with the objection of any individual from a board meeting or committee meeting violating this code of conduct. In summary, we are just asking that everyone who respects everyone in the room and understand that there will be a consistent opinion, and that's okay. We would just ask that we respect everyone in this agreement, and we allow people to speak, and we also allow the board to collectively listen to what we need. Thank you very much for this. At this time, we are now going to move to item number 2, which is applications to the New York State Liquor Authority. At this time, we have one application for considering tonight. The application is for Rizlo, located at 701 Black Avenue, Cross Streets, Winthrop, and Parkside Avenue. This is for the renewal of the liquor line here to go over the license. At this time, we have a representative from Rizlo. All right, please come to the front. All right, give yourself a little bit about this establishment.
So we've been open for 8 years. We multi-suite restaurants. We have a lifestyle. So we are multi-suite restaurant. We have a lifestyle. Approximately 48 seats inside and 30 approximately outside. And we've been open for 8 years. Hopefully we are living on it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is for the rule of the classes, so they don't state, they came before the committee. At this time, are there any questions? Can anyone come to questions for the applicant? Are there any questions for the applicant? Understood. Right, so, well, let me just say this, so again, this is for a rule of license. Liquor license, so they make sure that that application approved. Part of our process is there are approved use vetting in terms of for complaints or complaints. Once complaints is what we're going to run, so that can go handles, right, so otherwise we can bring in this and we are going to go for, all right, are there any other questions for the applicant? Okay, hearing none, we are going to consider your application when we get to the business section of the meeting. You are more than welcome to stay. Otherwise, you go and enjoy your meeting for a minute. Okay, at this time, we are now going to go into the public comment section. The public comment period is for exactly 30 minutes. Time is now 6:49 p.m. This time we have two people on the side. This time we have Mr. Mason.
My name is Jake Sawyer. I'm a former property owner of Flatbush. I also remember the principal school that purchased in Georgia. I'm here in comments based on the application for East Flatbush with regard to a New York State project that is going to deeply affect East Flatbush. I handed out a handout 4 or 5 pages. In the handout is evidence of what the residents are entitled to and what they're not getting. The community board voted against Kingsbrook site because in part there was around 1,000 annual units without 1 parking spot. You can contrast that to the other New York State project in Creekmore in Queens, where there's around 2,800 units with 3,200 parking spots. These Flatbush's neighborhood people rely upon parking when they use it from out. There's also an oversaturation of social services. What you're entitled to, these Flatbush residents are entitled to a public hearing before the city council on 10 days' notice. The first page is a copy of the general project plan. And on the bottom of it says that the city of New York has averted their interest. And on the page behind that is the second page. I have comments above it, and my comments are sort of as a script for the difference. You can tell me when I run it that. So this is the actual copies of the general project plan. New York City has to give up the deed back to the New York State Department of Development. So there's a quick claim transfer of the deed. When that happens, the ULURP committee knows that it goes to the ULURP. But there's an exception of New York State. It's on the next page, Section 14. Section 14 of the BTC Act, of the Corporation Act. Section 2 specifically says that if you're going to sell real estate under the BTC Act, which is relevant in this project, it specifically says it has to go to the city council on 10 days notice. It is very important that this go to the city council so that at least one elected official can give you the voice. Right now, this is just being voted through and no one has a voice in it. There will be two motions that come up today, and it deals with transparency and having a voice. The community wants Letitia James to come to the community and have a community impact hearing. She spent millions of dollars against her political allies, and she has to come to this community, and the community doesn't want this project. There's a piece of paper here that says Letitia James is the sign off on this project. There's been a massive displacement of existing residents. So we're asking two things. Two motions again. One, we want Letitia James to come to the community impact hearing. Number one, we're asking Letitia James to come to the community impact hearing because she has to approve this. This is going to affect residents in this flat who don't have parking. Number two, we're asking her to disclose ahead of time because there's going to be a body of number two that's going to come up. So we're asking the community to have a voice, number one, and we're asking for disclosure ahead of time in the motion. The ULUM committee passed two specific motions. So there's two motions that we can hear from somebody. Those motions were passed by the ULUM committee, asking that the community have a voice in the community impact hearing, and then there be disclosure on potential tribal number two, so we can rely on the expertise of the other community board members who are on the ULUM committee, and we can just let the ULUM committee give their voice. I know this is a new topic, but the community hasn't had a voice yet. They want a voice and they want disclosure. If you look at the documents carefully, you see what goes in, and you look at it, and you see what's going on. And Cheryl is what we're saying to Les, and she's one of the people who are coming here, even though there's hundreds of people who are against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, we'll go to Public Secretary Michelle Brown.
Hi, can y'all hear me a little better? You know, I can talk for all the time. Y'all know I'm a big one. Good night, everybody. This is our last meeting for the summer. I hope everyone has a great summer. I see some faces out there that are tired of me, but I'm still here. I'm still going to be here. I'm still asking. I know 69 hands are tired, but as you all know, they approved the Valley Brook project. I'm still fighting. Y'all saw me the last meeting. I'm fat and I'm saying that I'm still going to continue. But just to bring to your attention, you did get a handout today. This handout does what it's asking. I'm asking you all to vote on. It's just simply asking that the community board night can send a letter to Letitia James asking her to give our community a chance. Back in, I think, the last meeting, or I think you were, brought to our attention by Jay, that there was a high school that stood to close in Bronx, but Letitia James saved it. She went in, she did a community impact hearing, and she saved that high school. I don't know how many of y'all, I'm new to the community board. I'm going to be here to stay, whether this goes up or not, because I'm going to be alone outside when we start getting all those problems with the rats and everything that's going to be coming from this project that's coming. For those that don't know, East Hampton 13 buildings put up right in our neighborhood. We have so many more that are already coming in addition to. But hopefully you all will vote yes, because we do want Letitia James to try to give us an impact hearing. And it would look good coming from our community board, because we're looking at you all here. But also, just to let you know what's going on in our community, Old Boys and Girls High School, which is located on Rutland and Troy, we have access to that school. But if you look at June, I think it's June 15th, New York Post did an article that said, or if you look at June 8th, New York Post did an article that DOE gives $4 million to ex-chancellor's Old Boys and Girls High School. Now, they're giving it to a school that's in District 23 and District 17. So now they actually took away the community where we can't even use the field that we have struggled with every year when we have these concerts. concerts. Every year when they have the football, we got parking, people blocking our driveways and middle of the street. We deal with it because it's only for the summer, right? We have to do our part. But now we can't even utilize the school. They took the school and gave it to another district. So now we don't even have the school where we are in our community. So we're getting screwed left and right. I'm still going to continue trying. I'm going to try to get going on that side because our elected officials are not helping. We would like Letitia James to come. Just like she came in the community board meeting, she said that this community can cut on, and as long as she's Attorney General, she'll help us. We have not heard from her. So hopefully you all can just vote in favor of this and we can like read the letter. Okay? And happy summer to you all. I will see you all in September.
Thank you. We only have 2 members signed up for local conference meetings now. As always, I thank you for the speech because it gives us more perspective and information on the town. And actually, take this as part of our conversation about whenever we're at it. Okay, so this time we're proceeding to our conference period. We are now going to go on to now. If there are any other representatives for elected officials who are here this evening and haven't signed in, please come forward, or at least when you just let us know when you're here to come and give your time. All right. So first, we have from IDCC Connect, we have Ms. Lipton.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. Happy summer. I'm from IDCC, which is Integrated Health Consultation Center. It's a friendly mental health clinic on East New York and Utica. And as you know, I'm also from the Connect program, which is an enhancement of mental health services. We have casework, we have the benefits, housing, vocational, and women's security. So on that note, we are quite a few events coming up this summer. We had our farmers market last week. The next we'll have one in July and August. We have a flyer already on the table. It's on our piano. Our annual Charlotte City is coming up. I don't know how many of you know about this. This is an annual event that we do, which actually was started years ago by the God's Club. So we've been partnering with them for the last couple of years. It's our 4th annual event. We'll have about 50, 60 vendors in the field of health, workforce development, access, to help the underserved and the average middle-class person that's struggling. It's a really good event. We also this year we're going to bring a DJ in, and we will do some fitness, so we want to make it a little more interesting. And that'll be on August 20th, Wednesday at Easter Parkway in New York. I also have a one-pager of community events. Some of them are, some of them are not. So some interesting upcoming events which are passed out very shortly. And last, I want to highlight our program. We do have substance abuse. So if you know anybody that has any issues with substance abuse, we have some information on the back of my IDCC flyer over there. We basically have a great program that you can come in, sign up, and work with peer specialists. They are training in this. They also meet you where you're at. So the person that's walking in the office, they can do in the coffee shop, in the park. They can help them with whatever issues they have. They also have an office in the DA's office where they can do vocational training, educational, and it's really good. So thank you so much. Any questions? I'll be around. Have a great summer.
swimming pool. Okay, at this time, we also have a representative from the New York City Independent Budget Office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cindy. I'm a community engagement specialist at the New York City Independent Budget Office. I have been here once before, maybe last year, and since I'm not able to see them yet. But can I show of hands who's familiar with IBO at this point, since I've been to the community fair? And okay, so plenty of new faces. But the New York City Independent Budget Office is a city agency, but we are independent and nonpartisan in the sense that we do not report to any elected officials. And our primary function is to provide data-driven information regarding the budget and policy to New Yorkers. We answer budget questions, questions regarding city policy that you might have confusion around, and we do a lot of public presentations to promote budget transparency. Actually, next week we have 2 webinars that I put flyers over there. Just scan the QR code to register. One will be a budget deep dive, where we will show you how to find specific program numbers in the budget. Some things we're looking out for in the adopted budget that comes out tonight. How much is going to childcare vouchers? What are the changes in fair student formula funding? How much money is going to parks? A lot of advocates have been calling for 1% to go to parks, but only about 0.6% goes to parks, and all other things. So please grab one of our flyers. We are NYC IBO on Instagram, and we post a lot of informational content there. And if you're interested in any budget questions, please come up to me. I can give you my card, and we can talk.
Thank you very much. At this time, are there any other representatives or elected officials that are with us? Okay, hearing none, we have the final item in the public session. We have the public session for thanking everyone who comes out. This is really an opportunity for the board to have this discussion with the community, but also want to put a plug in for next year. The real places where we have these conversations are the committee meetings. So we absolutely appreciate the opportunity to have them come and speak for the board. We're definitely for extended conversations. Committees are the really engine to drive the board. We can have the conversations we can have there, and we definitely need to have it. So I thank everyone for being contributing. I thank all the elected officials and the representatives came. There were no screenings, no faces to come and let us know what resources we have in the community. Thank you for being wonderful officer out here, and look forward to seeing you again. Okay, at this time, we are now going to go to business session. Madam Secretary,
Good night. Hello, everybody. Abdul Mohammed. Nicholas Commodore. Fred Baptiste. Savannah Benjamin. Catherine Machado. Jack. Joanna Carr. Suki Shah. Kendall Christensen. Julie Carr. Jody Carr. Eve Cooley. Carey. Max Davidson. Brittany Ellington. Brittany. Lisa Etienne. Madame Lemoy.
Shonda Hartley, Rod Herbert, Drew Johnson, Bobby Joseph, Renisha Tabari, Megan Nabuti, Francisco Leopold, Christian LeBeau, Andrew Magnus, Marcia Maxwell, Vanna Mears, Rohan Eno, Latif Mucci, Ethan Dark, Denzel Adoro, Isaiah Poo, Hassan Kuzi, Felice Robertson, Minnie Rosenberger, Melissa Sophia, Emily Smith, Makari Kamia, Joshua Thomas Serrano, Abigail Payne, Debbie Timothy, Quite Aware, Linda Watson, Dawn Developers, Teresa Restrepo, Dawn Williams, Dorian Wilson, Steve Zelter.
Okay, well, are there any members of the board that did not hear the name call who came in after the roll call? Mr. Barry, you have a usually okay, are there any other members who did not hear the name call or who came in after the roll call?
I'm sorry, I just forgot to mention, we're doing a summer series at Broward Park Library. One of the therapists who's going to be running it is coming in. But I know time is short, so just saying, it's on the calendar, a summer series at Broward Park. Summer runs.
We have 31 members, over 50 we have 4. Thank you.
Okay, there are 31 members present, we probably have one. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move to the next item. Yeah. All right, so for board members, yes. Which one? Which one? secretary will make the meeting for that. Thank you very much. Okay, the minutes for the May meeting were distributed as part of a mailing to board members that are not included in the packet. All right, but at this time, so we're going to take it out of the May meeting minutes. Are there any corrections? Yes. The minutes actually were mailed out, so they were mailed out to all the packet made for it. Yes. It was sent in advance. Thank you very much. So, the reason is that this game is prepared. Not. Yes, please. Well, this is absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Hold on. Are there any other board members who did not receive an electronic copy of the minutes? Okay. As it was distributed, so it was distributed. Are there any members at this time who have corrections that need to be made to copy of the minutes? We did know one correction. Okay. Here we go. Yes. We'll cover that. So we're going to ask you. So right now, we just want to stay on the item, the minutes. Okay. So we have one correction. Is there any objection to adopting the minutes with the correction as noted? All right, we have one objection for this question. Are there any other objections to adopting the minutes? All right, with that, Madam Secretary, please forward the minutes are adopted with the objection of the objection. Thank you very much. All right, we are now going to go on to the next item, which is special orders. Special orders for this evening, for our bylaws, we are going to be having elections for the officers for the board now. One moment. Listen, at this time, we will give a quick report in terms of process and meeting again. The nomination chair is going to list the candidates until announced that shortly. Oh, there it is. And for the record, Madam Secretary, there is no voting and
good evening, everyone. We're going to do the executive board elections this evening. I'm going to list off all of the folks that are running for executive board. Okay, for chairperson, we have Fred Baptiste. For first vice chairperson, we have Paul Cleary and Ethan Norville. For second vice chair, we have Kirshu Abdul Musa Kabir and Felice Robertson. For executive secretary, we have Linda Watson-Lord. For treasurer, we have Maya Dupre. And members at large, we have Nicholas Alkmaar, Pat Pacello, Lisa Etienne, and Linda May Rosenberg. So everyone that is running will have an opportunity to give their 60-second pitch. We will know why you're running and thank you. We'll just list off the candidates one more time, just in case you need to do it. Okay, chairperson Fred Baptiste, first vice chairperson Sol Cleary, Ethan Norville, Kirshu Abdul Kabir, Felice Robertson, for executive secretary Linda Watson-Lord, for treasurer Maya Luce, for members at large Nicholas Alkmaar, Pat Pacello, Lisa Etienne, and Linda May Rosenberg.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank the nomination chair. I want to thank you for the work. So, good job. I just want to thank everyone on the board for all the assistance and support that I've had in the last several years. For those who've been here for some period of time, you know that the board has done changes. We've had tough times. But I'm very proud to say that we are really comfortable about the ways we need to make changes. I can't take credit for that. All I can say is I'm proud to be a part of the board for doing this. And as far as being chair, the vision that we have to continue to do those things that matters to this point. We want to be accountable. We want to be transparent. We want to be collaborative. We want to operate in an area of respect. We want to make sure we respect our neighbors. We want to respect the place and the place that we have conversations so that we can talk to the bad and who's asking us to do. Thank everyone who's building the company, not whether it's or coming involved in night with the vendors and coming to community as well. So all I'm saying is that I want to give all my all to making sure we're able to move in the forward direction. I have been chair for about 5 years now, and as I've been in the great areas in my year, I know that this is not last forever, and it should. So really, one of the things I want to do as a 4 years is build our own developing at the next level of leadership. The next chair is going to be more time, so that they can take over, continue this work, and represent the district really. I look forward to working with everyone. I hope it's possibly I'm not here to remember the board. But thank everyone, and I guess I think this is a good conference. I'm going to test it and get it on the right side. To feel this confidence in terms of I've been okay. And I hope that we'll continue that leadership. Thank you very much.
Having some orientation that actually help us to learn
as well as being a part of other community events in which we engage more community members and have more people join to become aware of the community board and what it is that we do in this community, and for us to work together to come up with common goals and feel more united as we work with each other so that we can understand that, we all care about our community. People may have different ideas and things about how we can do things, but I think at the end of the day, we can always see our community flourish and how can we work together with each other for this common goal. So that's the reason I'm running for the vice chair. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm still with you in shape effectively. So I'm honored and I feel blessed to continue, hopefully, to continue to see as a second vice chair. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Next up, we have Mr. Thompson.
Hello, everyone. It's probably the first time in my life I've done anything where needed to be voted for. It's a little bit unusual, but what has sort of, I guess, pushed me to do this is for many years I've read about community boards and how they operate, and I know the way that I am personally. I'm a believer in building consensus and making sure that voices are heard. It doesn't have to be voices that are similar to mine. It can be very different voices, but they have to be engaged within the community. And the things that I've experienced here and other places where sometimes things are just pushed through without people fully understanding it and grasping it is something that I am the kind of person who will pump the brakes. So if I'm here, you know, you're going to get that. As far as my experience goes, I've really 23 years working for the public schools as a math teacher, principal, now in a central office position, small business owner, been in the community for 20 years. And that puts me in a position where I'm touching a lot of different facets of, it's put me in a position where I understand a lot of different facets of the community and how it works. And I know there are big ticket things here, land use is very important. There's also smaller things that matter as well, that we also need to address, we need to push, and people need to understand how they can do simple things. And that's why I came here, and that's why I hope to be able to assist with it.
Thank you. The next person is Linda Watson. Linda is running for executive secretary.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Watson. I am the culture of the University of Colorado. And I work on myself as a professional youth director. I'm a member of the theater right over there, right on 4 Street, so you all invite me. This is my second election as the secretary, Susan and I have been doing this for now for 30 years. My kids and my grandchildren, they always grow up and born here. So, I'm just asking you, or maybe it's a pleasure of mine to be able to serve my community, serve the church, and serve the community board, and looking after the kids in my community. That's important. Thank you.
Next, we have Minor Lupe, and she's running for treasurer of the city board now. Okay, she got it. Okay. Yeah, so she gets something I received that in the board office. So the next position is member of the board. So we can choose 2 people for this particular position. We have Nicholas Alcon,
Good evening. So, I'm running for the election. Yes, this is my third round to I like this position to the platform when I'm involved in this community board. What we do in our parks, community gardens, and playgrounds. So I'm really interested in seeing cities to be part of the world, not paying too much attention to will be there. So I want to give you the idea. If you go to there, I just want to go there and I was sitting in my hospital and I'm thinking there is good. So I made myself there. So I'd like to get back to this position because I work for a project which is about the Borough President of North Florida, Boston Water Rights and Rights Power Movement tonight is the annual conference of all 18 communities for participation in culture communities. We've been in touch, we've been meeting with different community candidates, and I would love for this position to give me the standing to accomplish that. So I thank you for your vote for the last previous election, and I of course want your vote for this election. Thank you very much.
The other people that were running for members of the bar are Pat Michelle. Pat? Hi, I'm Becky. Although I only served 1 year on the community board, I've lived in Blackbird now for 3 years. Coming by way of Queens, I came here because I lost my mother. My mother was the first living parent that I had, so Blackbird named me because it's Little Caribbean, and I started my career here in hospitality, working at Rocky Garden. And in being here, I became an entrepreneur. I opened my brick and mortar business, and I also launched my brick and mortar business. And the time also being here, I lived with a roommate, and then I lived on my own, and then living on my own, I had a slumlord as a landlord. And I took that slumlord to court, or they took me to court, and then I beat them in court, and now they was not paying a full year of rent due to the living conditions that I was subjected to. So me running for member at large is, in my short time being in this community, I've fallen in love with this community, but I've also seen the need for this community, and I've advocated for this community aggressively and politely. So in being a member at large, I want to be able to advocate for more businesses and business owners that look like us and aren't being pushed out that look like us, as well as being able to advocate for those that want to live in this community, own in this community, and be able to live with livable conditions. There's no reason why we're being rejected. This way, there's no reason why there are elected officials that aren't being present or standing up for us or listening to us, and I have no fear to make sure that we are heard in this community. Thank you. She's running for member at large. Next person is running for member at large, Lisa Etienne.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Etienne. I am running for member at large. I am a lifelong member of this community. I raise my children here, the school here, my parents are here, my husband is here, is there all the time. I've been on the board as a official member for a year, and I'm community board for 2 years. I've served on a housing committee, I've served on economic development committee, which I am on now. And the reason why I'm running for member of large is because I can bring life to the executive board and really work with the team and the members to push the community board further. I have a background in project management, in financial services, change management, so I'm all for process improvement and seeing how we can streamline things to deliver our
Now, Thank you everyone. So we're going to pass this around the ballots. You're going to put an X next to the candidate that you would like to choose. And in order for your ballot to be valid, you have to sign it.
To record the vote. Yes, members of the House. Okay. Now, very good. The bio ballots. Take a ballot. You need to make sure you select clearly what your choice is, and you have to sign your ballot. Typically, print and sign to make sure you do that. And that is the ballot of your ballot. Okay? When you get to the point for a member at large, you can select up to two. Up to two of member at large. And that's select more than that, that ballot will go for that. That ballot. Consent or whatever. More than two, we have to allocate your vote for member. Now, think about it. But for member at large, more than two, there's no vote right there.
You are a board member, please raise your hand so we can know who your ballot is. Thank you.
So again, remember, as you vote, if you sign the ballot, you can select one candidate for each of the positions, except for member of large, except up to two, no more than, no more than. What's the question? Pens or pencils? Oh, you need. We have some pens, just off staff, it's going to come with pens, so if anybody needs one, raise your hand.
Yeah, pens and pens.
Oh, yeah, for us. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, we gotta go too.
Heck yeah.
Did all current board members get a ballot? Is there any board member who did not get a ballot? Just a housekeeping matter, are there any board members who walk in after roll call? Did not hear the name called for, any members who came in? Mr. Rosenberg, we got you, Ms. Allen, we got you. Are there any other board members who walked in after roll call? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys want anyone to just bring it up to you?
I'll just come here. Yeah, I feel like that would be because everybody comes up at once. I'll just come.
Okay, at this time, we're going to run the elections concurrently with the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and the nominations committee is electing. Let's give it a moment. Any board members who still have a ballot? Any board members who still have a ballot?
What do you want to do?
Okay, we need to come back to order. Everyone needs to come back to order this time. All right, we are now going to move on while the nominations committee counts the ballots. We're going to continue. We will report back and then go on the agenda. We are now going to go to item 4, committee reports. At this time, we're going to hear a report from the transportation committee. Your Honor.
In our last meeting on transportation,
Everyone, we need order. We need order. We're receiving a report from transportation committee. Please everyone, final while this board meeting.
in our last meeting, we covered a few applications. Some of them were on dining out, so we had a couple of dining out applications that we reviewed. All of them fit our criteria. They did not pose any sort of issue. They were pedestrian flow, they were roadway flow, so we approved those applications. Apart from those, we also reviewed and addressed the importance of having pop-up shops. We had a prior applicant come to us for a pop-up shop on the Washington Avenue and Practical Park Plaza. And we ultimately ended up declining that one because it wasn't a fully accurate proposal, meeting the directives, and we wanted to make sure that those were accurate going forward, and also that the community had a chance to see what was being brought to the table. And that helped us direct some more focus to the CP and WhatsApp chat, because right now, some of the ways that people learn about these things can be a little bit slow, either through email or through manually finding the agenda. And in our last meeting, we wanted to have a bit of a renewed focus on people hearing. Okay. Yeah, go to back now, right?
Order of the day, order of the day. Order of the day. Chair speaking right now.
I might need to go a little slower so it kind of clears out. But I was saying that we use that application for the pop shop in Washington to sort of get people to be a bit more tuned in to the CB9 Snapchat so they can learn about these things before they come to us. Because I want to avoid situations where people are proposing new things and the public hears about it 2 weeks later as opposed to next time. So we try to use that application to have a department and make sure it's all set going forward, but also line stuff up to know about these things before as opposed to after the fact.
Okay. All right. All right, so for the transportation chair, there are 3 applications we're going to be hearing this evening in the voting center. Those are for Zacharia El Padron, there's for Angelitos, Del Padron, and Control. There's 3 applications we're hearing this evening. They were heard by the Transportation Committee and approved. The other piece of that was for informational purposes about pop-up shops and the use of the WhatsApp in terms of being able to do better communication and getting that information out. Okay, so 3 action items for this evening that were notified the chair. Are there any questions for the chief election? No, we'll do that when we get to the voting items. We'll take it, it's on the floor, we'll open up the questions for the chair. Okay, all right, at this time, yes. Understood. And we apologize for that as well. It's a beautiful facility, but it's a different acoustic thing we're normally used to. So we're just going to try and make sure we're speaking more loudly. Can you hear me with this? Yes. All right, we'll try and keep it at this level for the rest of the meeting. Okay? But yeah, so again, so those are 3 items we're going to hear. At this time, do we have the Housing Committee Chair? She here to sign? All right, chairs for the Housing Committee are not here. They did submit their reports for informational purposes that we're voting on this month, but I didn't want to take an opportunity to publicly thank so Jody Cobb and our treasurer, Ryan Lute. They both stepped up and co-chair the committee for the balance this year. We had some issues in terms of getting them up at the committee up and standing. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank the members of the committee for coming back and doing some really great work. So part of what right, well, that's not there, but there is some unfinished work, absolutely. And I think that speaks to a number of the committees we have. There's a lot of things that are in flight, a lot of great work that's been done, but we're not finished yet. So that is definitely, I encourage everyone to please make sure you're reading the minutes, particularly the Housing Committee, because I think there's some really good stuff that they're talking about doing as soon as we come back in September. For housing. Okay, but then, understood, but it's in the minutes, so that will be recorded. So that's there, if it's sort of applied. Okay, thank you very much. All right, okay, so we are now going to move on to land use. So do we have a chair for land use here? Please come forward.
Proposal then to the city council and back to the mayor. So many of the proposals to reform the charter, which is the Charter Provincial Commission has been hearing from the public. Many of these proposals seek to overturn this balance of power. And the charter is really like the city's constitution to give you a sense of the weight of these changes. And they seek to give a specific set of developers and developers the ability to get rezoning, which is changes to what was built, without unusual checks and balances and without sufficient time for the public to get involved in what's going on. So you'll hear that this is necessary in order to reduce timelines to go through the housing, which almost all communities will have shortage of, and in order to make sure that all communities do their fair share and prevent some communities or council members from single-handedly imposing affordable housing in their districts. However, it is a false premise that we need to eliminate democracy and regulation to have affordable housing, and so our committee opposes all of these proposals. We know that democracy can be messy, it can seem inconvenient if you're trying to get something done, and it can seem tempting to want to give an executive all the power to get things done. However, we know that that is a slippery slope. When you start challenging the Constitution and challenging the balance of power. Many of the proposals, central as power in the mayor's office, taking away the council's power to review development proposals. The bottom line is, at this point, we don't know who the next mayor is going to be. Is someone who loves, is someone whose proposals we hate? You can't, the only thing we can really count on is the checks and balances in the process, and the community's role in the process with the community. Council's deference for the practice of voting within local level laws for development in their district is something to care about. Some of the proposals claim that this kills affordable housing projects, but it's important to emphasize that council deference is not a law. It's a tradition that many developers believe cannot be overcome, but that belief has never been tested in an open vote in the council, and it is a question which can change now that the Fair Housing Standard has been passed, which would make it clear to all members how much housing the city seeks to produce and what HPP believes they should produce, and how particular districts is implemented. Additionally, now that affordable housing does not have a strong community-based preference, I think now only 20% of the units in an affordable housing project, as opposed to 50% before, are reserved for the community. All council members are likely to have greater interest in all projects around the city. It's not a coincidence that many of these proposals come from developers because they substitute community-based planning and city planning with development-based planning. However, our statement is also carefully crafted to reflect our support for those reforms we think are necessary to promote fairness and to streamline the legal process while maintaining the focus on community-based planning and professional environmental review, which there is a lack of, and we're seeing And there is precedent for that, obviously, because when we give tax credits to new development on the private side, we require that. So, the third proposal, which public speaking up for, is the request to have the Attorney General hold a community impact hearing on Kingsborough psychiatric programs. So actually there's another request for the Attorney General to provide an environmental assessment statement and any other information about the sale of the southern half of the Kingsborough Jewish hospital campus. Some of you may know the northern half is already being developed. The senior homes housing is part of the development project, but there is now a proposal to sell the southern half of the campus. And the Attorney General has review power because one open health, which rules the program, is a nonprofit, and the General has to review the sale of nonprofit assets. So the ask is that before she approves the sale, that she give us more information about what's going on. Because if there is going to be another development there, it's a market split, it's really going to impact the community and we need to know. So is there any questions about any of these three
So I want to thank the chair and for all the proposals and the work that they've done for a lot of years. Our land use committee is solid. I thank you for the work you've done. I think it's critical work that they're doing as well, because it's important for us as a board to have a well-informed policy. What we're finding as we're maturing, as we're growing, it's not enough to say we're against something. We need to be able to articulate reasons why we're against things, but at the same time, before things we are for, or at least before the principles that we work with. So I want to thank you for doing this. This is the actual revision of the zoning framework that we did last year. I'm glad that they went back and looked at it and made the refinements, because it should be a living document. We should be able to look at it and see what is working, or as we do more things, to see how we can do the best for each person in the needs. So thank you very much for the work. We're going to consider those questions when we get to the other session. And we'll open the floor at that point for questions from the board, and you can ask that at that time. Yes, so at this time we're going to go to item 5. This is Andy's report.
Good evening, everyone. All right, so yeah, it's impacted. All right, good evening, everyone. All right, CP9. In partnership with the Borough President's Office, Councilmember Crystal Hudson's office, Brooklyn Children's Museum, and the LES Ecology Center, we're going to be doing a free electronics and textiles recycling collection event on July 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be here at the School for the Deaf, but it's going to be in the back parking lot. So you'll see on the flyer that will be disseminated and promoted. It's 1003 Union Street. If you put that into your Google, that'll get you to the backside, not 260 Eastern Parkway. So it'll be in the back parking lot. We'll continue to blast that out, and all the information's on the flyer as well. A water service shutdown has been confirmed for Tuesday, July 1st. Tomorrow from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. The shutdown is happening to facilitate the replacement of the 12-inch water main. Weather field conditions permitting at this location. So I think that the weather will probably be fine tomorrow. So expect that this is going to happen at these locations. Remsen Avenue between Clarkson Avenue and East 56th Street. Clarkson Avenue between Remsen Avenue and East 94th Street. East 91st Street between Clarkson Avenue and Winthrop Street. And East 93rd Street between Clarkson Avenue and Lenox. The Department of Transportation is proposing the rule to amend rules of the City of New York to add speed restrictions for people operating bicycles with electric assist e-bikes, electric scooters, or pedal assist commercial bicycles on New York City streets. The proposed rule amends Section 401 and 4-06 of the traffic rules to impose a speed limit on e-bikes, electric scooters, and the pedal assist commercial bicycles to align with the existing speed limit for electric scooters in the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law, and to ensure speed limits are applied consistently across all e-mobility devices. DOT will hold this public hearing online Monday, July 14th at 10 a.m. Via Zoom. If you wish to email comments, you can email comments to rules@dot.nyc.gov. I'm sorry, I don't know the speed limit. 15? There it is, folks, 15. All right, DOHMH, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene is proposing to amend Chapter 32, which is Dogs in Outdoor Dining Areas, of Title 24 of the Rules of the City of New York to align with changes to the definition of sidewalk cafe made by local law 121/2023. The department will hold this public hearing at 10 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on July 18th. It will be conducted via video conference. It looks like it's WebEx. If you wish to submit written comments, you can submit those comments to resolutioncomments@health.nyc.gov. Again, resolutioncomments@health.nyc.gov. Just on the administrative side, we're going to be changing the e-blast moving forward, so we're going to give some tweaks to it over the summer. We realize we get a lot of information and we send out a lot of information, so we're going to be creative in how we send that out, so you all can hopefully start adjusting the information that we're sending out, and it's not too much in one email. Also, I want to remind that the board office, our email now is infobk09@cb.nyc.gov. Again, infobk09@cb.nyc.gov. Please remove BK09-1. We cannot receive emails from it anymore. As the summer continues, we will blast out the CB9 resident committee member application, so just look out for that in the e-blast. We'll try to get that out in July to give residents of the district enough time to apply for that. We did update our website. You can find information about our WhatsApp directly on our website page. Encourage you to join the WhatsApp. Also, follow our YouTube channel so you can get a notification and updates on when our meetings take place. We also will be working to provide ASL, American Sign Language, at least at our upcoming general board meeting. There's not a lot of vendors out there that do it, so I'm working with one vendor that CDC has told me that they do this regularly. So once we get that solidified, we'll have that at that service at our upcoming meetings. CB9, the office location, 890 Nostrand Avenue. Our lease for that office actually ends September 30th of this year, so I'm working diligently with DCAS. OMB has already approved a relocation request Working diligently with DCAS to figure out what the next steps in that process are. They're telling me, even though our lease ends in September, it probably will take 2 years to find us a permanent space. So as more details come in, I'll make sure I inform the new executive committee and board members of that. I just wanted to put that on your radar. Just wanted to put that on your radar. Also, I typically mention public hearings in my report, which I think are very important, but you also can get this information as well. If you go to rules.nyc.gov, you can sign up directly from the website and get notifications in your email about some of the public hearings that I've mentioned, but moving forward. And then the last thing I want to do is just take the opportunity to thank the staff. They've been with me going on 3-4 years now. Every time I've needed them, they've been there. So give them a round of applause. They answer the emails, they pick up the phone, they handle constituents when folks come into the office. So I just wanted to say thank you with that. And then actually the last thing was, so there's been some talk regarding, the plaza at Empire Boulevard and Washington Avenue. And I just want to give some clarity on the situation there. So there's an organization, I Am Caribbean. So the sculptures that are there, they are the organization that is hosting that. So directly with the Department of Transportation, that art initiative, that will be displayed until April of 2026. So they're a direct partner with DOT, so you will see that there until 2026. That's one piece that they're doing there. That same organization is also holding a monthly night market at that location. And the dates for that monthly night market, at least the ones that I have for now, are July 24th, August 21st, which is my birthday, I'm Leo now, September 18th, and October 23rd. And just FYI, the NYPD already gave their recommendation for that programming. It's already in the system. They went directly to the mayor's office. We didn't even offer any type of comment or recommendation for that. I will say there is an individual that has come before the Transportation Committee also wanting to do programming at that location. We have not received any official application from that individual. All I have are unofficial emails about the type of work that they want to do or been at that location. It is to my understanding now that that individual is supposed to call me back, maybe looking at another spot on Utica Avenue, which is basically Utica, East New York, and Richmond Avenue, where the storage is. So until I get confirmation on that, there's nothing been confirmed other than the two things from I Am Caribbean, which are the art installation and then the night market that they're going to do a couple times. I can get the times at the market. I did not get them, but if anyone wants those times, feel free to reach out to the board office. I can get the time and the date and send you that information.
All right, thank you very much. Good time. Are there any questions from members of the board for the district manager regarding this report? Questions for the district manager regarding this report? Okay, seeing none, Madam Secretary, please move to strike the comment about the rotation. Thank you very much. All right, so at this time, we're not going to go to the short report. First of all, I'm going to start off by saying again, I can't say enough, thank you so much for here, for all your service. Members of the board are here because we're all active, the community is already engaged. So I understand that this is an additional commitment we're making, and I think it's all the hard work we've done for us. It's with pleasure and privilege to work with everyone. And as we close this chapter, I'm looking forward to opening the next one when we come back in. All right, so a couple of updates I want to provide. So with respect to downstate, that's something that as a board we've been very involved in. So I do want to point out, I think the news are broken, but the Community Advisory Board, they forwarded their proposal for that to the governor. So it's a little bit over $1 billion to renovate that district. Part of the plans are also to build a new annex over there, so that we can complete some outpatient services. All services that the hospital currently does are going to be retained. It's something that we very much want to make sure that there's no collection of services that we don't take anything away. Additionally, part of the renovation plan is they are converting some of the rooms. So I believe they have a little bit over 300 rooms with some of these beds, and we'll talk about that. These were rooms that were done on triple occupancy. So part of the plan is to right-size the hospital to need 225 beds, but these are private rooms. This is more in line with the model of most hospitals, so you don't have people stacked up on each other in rooms. So they want to make something, maybe down to something that is more consumer friendly. So that people who go there actually have a pleasant experience and all that. I want to take this time to thank Ms. Carol Patterson, who serves as the representative for Wards 9 and 17. She's former part of the Unity Health and Hospital Corporation. She's an executive there, great wealth of technical knowledge, and she was very helpful. She represented us well in terms of making sure the needs of the community as communicated by myself and our part of the 17 were heard and addressed. And I think she did a fantastic job both publicly and now. But I also want to make sure that we don't see that this chapter is closed. We want to make sure that as a board we stay involved in what's going on in our healthcare network. So far we're talking about the political plan, there's things that we're going to do for that. But we also want to make sure that we're consistently advocating for services, for additional funding. We always want to make sure we understand that the point is always that downstate is not going to be a for-profit hospital. It serves our community, it serves our district, it serves people who can't afford. So we can never look at downstate as an institution that is going to be in the black, just by virtue of the services they offer. We need to make sure that there's funding that is allocated for that. We need to make sure that there's a fair and equitable distribution in terms of Medicaid and Medicare, what they're paying in terms of that as well, so that we can continue to engage from us. And as we speak about downstate, we don't just talk about it, we also need to make sure that we're involved with all the institutions in our network. That includes East End Hospital, that includes all the health institutions that are there. It includes One Brooklyn Health to make sure that we're in conversation with them, to make sure that they're getting things that they need to make sure that they can keep CB9 and Brooklyn healthy. So I wanted to say thank you to all those who went and testified. Truly those comments were heard, and we're going to stay tuned for making sure we're involved. As we talk about I also wanted to as we talk about downstate, and we talk about our hospitals, both downstate and North Brooklyn Health, part of what is mandated by the state is that they actually do community health surveys. I believe there is a document that has a survey for downstate that's been circulated. There is a similar document that North Brooklyn Health has. And this is going to kind of touch on another point of communication. Please make sure you respond to the survey, because this really kind of gives institutions an idea of what the community wants to need. This is critical. There's a time frame on this one, so I believe it's actually due by July 31st, so we don't have a lot of time. Physical copies here for downstate. We will make sure that that goes out electronically as part of the e-blast, that's something that in a second, as well as One Brooklyn Health will go out as part of the e-blast as well. So please make sure you're looking at your documentation and sharing with neighbors as well. Make sure that they're responding, letting you know who's in the district and what the specific needs are of the community, so that way they are aligned their priorities to what we need. I want to link will be provided for. There's a document right now for downstate. There's a paper document where you can scan the QR code or take you into that. But additionally, there's a QR code for One Brooklyn Health that will get out of it. I wanted to take an opportunity to thank Ward 9 for the community fair that happened last week. It's truly a wonderful thing. I mean, like Mr. Allen was talking about, the Godfather of the community fair. And now we're 3 or 4 years into it. And I think it's really one of these programs that people like that with pride in terms of where we'll get different aspects of the community together. We've got our committees who come and participate and tell people what we're doing. We get vendors, get resources, tell us what things are available. Sometimes it's just amazing that you don't even know what's out there. But I think the community president gets that allows us to do that. So I'm very thankful that we able to do that. I thank everyone, and I hope you enjoy themselves. The district manager talked about it, and I want to make sure that the board of communications are going to be. There is a ton of information that we're going to pass out to board members and to the community as well. This is where, please make sure you record info.ek09 with the new email address. If you have to communicate with the office, please do it that way, so that way we can make sure your thoughts and your ideas are getting through. And again, going back to the idea of e-blast, particularly for new members. If you haven't been signed up already, if you are not receiving them, please make sure you sign up for e-blast with the district office, so that way you can get the information. Even though we will not meet for the next 2 months, there's a lot that happens. So please make sure you sign up so you can get that information. One of the things I would like to say as well is that part of the job of being a board member is you're acting as an ambassador. So when you receive this information, please don't just look at it and say, that sounds great. Distribute it to your networks, whoever needs to hear it, whatever it is. The district office is a team of 3. Though mighty they are only 3. So we really depend on the board to help transport the word of this going on. Okay. I had on my report for elections. I definitely want to just take an opportunity to thank the nominations committee for all the work that they've done. In terms of doing, starting that process in April, where they were planning to sit up for making the phone calls and for now getting us into the state where we've got. See soon we're going to do officers for our board members. The district manager also talked about committees. So, very important, I always say the same thing. The committees are the engine that drives the board. So, that is an important process. One of the things we want to do is start that process earlier. So, please make sure your information is correct. Make sure your email is correct. The email address is one to receive these communications. As I say that, you are going to get a lot of stuff. So, you may want to consider, if you haven't done so already, getting a separate email address just for communications. Otherwise, your inbox will be inundated, I guarantee you. It's easier to get that information that way. And if you are a board member and you have a city email address, that can actually be forwarded to the board office and the district office as well, and they can facilitate that process for that process, the OTI, to make sure that you get the city email address. But check your emails, because there's definitely a lot of work coming. And again, going back to the committees, you're going to get the links. If you're a resident member, we are looking forward to having you back. We'll get an invitation to come back and serve as a resident member. Board members, you are going to get an email saying you have an opportunity to select which committees you're going to serve. For our process, this is the bylaws mandate process. We reach out to you and we ask you what your preferences are, and then it's your board to look at that and then we're trying to align those preferences along with what the needs of the different committees are. So please make sure you look out for it, please make sure you respond. I really try hard along with this office to try and make sure we get people in places they want to be. I don't want to be in a position where I'm putting people in places that hold people that I have no idea what they want, and you're in some place that you really don't want to be. So the best way to do that is to make sure you respond and work on getting that out of the way. Thank you very much. And I guess the last piece, this is just a couple more pieces as well. So, training. That has been a big conversation as well. So one of the things that we are looking to do is institute board level training, which will talk to you about how we do things here at C9, what the processes are, what the expectations are, and everything. But we also understand that for all those level trainings as well, one of the things we don't want to do is bump things and have you going to multiple trainings. So we are in conversation with Borough Hall. We want them, if there are certain trainings they are given, we will let them give them. And then anything else that is not covered, we're trying to make sure we offer that here at the board level so that we have that as well. We're trying to coordinate. I know over the last couple of years we had issues with conflicts between board trainings or meetings and we're trying to see if we can resolve that so that we can get those things. And to that extent, so we're looking into that as well. We're looking at leveraging with other agencies, conflicts of interest board, media engagement councils as well with representatives, and using pre-report trainings as well. I believe that is it, but I do want to mention on this note again, thanks to the board. I do want to personally thank the district office team, the district manager, assistant district manager, to be a lot of work done, there's only three of them. And I know that they pick up the phone and they take last minute requests and they make things happen. I never know they could, so I want to say thank you so much. On behalf of the great group, that concludes my report. For no action items, I will take the questions if anybody has questions. Any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much. Once more to the agenda. Understood. Okay, so we are now going to go on to voting session. All right, so first item is the SLA application for Griswold. So Griswold, this application is for renewal of liquor wine beer and cider license. We are located at 701 Flatbush Avenue, Cross Streets, Windbrook, Parkside Avenue. They went and presented before the Public Safety Committee and received a affirmative vote from there. Report to the Executive Committee will approve the application comes to be considered this evening. As mentioned before, so there was no adverse items in terms of fire or police or 311, so they can forward to I'll put it on the floor first. Thank you. Okay, I'm about to do my job. All right. Okay, so at this time, we're going to consider the application for this. Are there any questions? Are there any questions, comments on this application for qualification? All right. Thank you. So, hearing no questions, is there any objection to adopting this application by common consent? Call for a second time. Is there any objection to approving this application by common consent? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, please report that the application is approved by common consent. Okay, we are now going to go on to section B, dining out applications. This evening we are hearing three applications for Taqueria del Patron, for Antojinos del Patron, and for Troy. Okay, so those three applications were approved by the Transportation Committee. You heard the report from the chair earlier. They were approved by the Executive Committee to come forward to the board. Is there any objection to considering these as a package? Is there any objection? Okay, hearing none, we're going to consider this as a package. Are there any questions regarding any of these applications? Okay, hearing no questions. Is there any objection to adopting, to approving all three of these applications? Or for a second time, is there any objection to approving these three applications by common consent? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, please report that these applications are approved by common consent. Okay, we are now going to go to item C, to the Mueller land use resolutions. All right, we're going to consider the first one, the charter revision. So it's considered and adopted by the committee, reported on by the chair previously, reviewed by the executive committee, and approved to come before the board. This time, we will open the floor for questions regarding charter revision. Are there any questions? If you could, we're going to take a speaker. So please raise your hand. I will take all the names and you have an opportunity. Yep, I'm sorry. So there's a document for charter revision that was handed out as part of the package. We're going to be voting on that. So this guy is going to vote on that. Any questions or any address that? Is that just the point of order yet? Okay. I see. Davidson, hold on. Put the hands up when you get it to me. Mr. Davidson. Go friends. Okay. I'll be super quick because we're Don't jinx it, sir.
No chair. No longer. We have a really long discussion about this resolution in the UN committee. We're going to discuss that language around member deference, which is a policy of councilors allowed to project housing districts. If you look at the three council members who represent this district, between the three of them, they built about 5,500 units, 5,500 units in affordable housing in those three districts. If you look at the council members who represent the Upper East Side and Upper West Side, who was after the neighborhoods of the city, and arguably the country, they built 1,500 units of affordable housing, 1,500. So they're building, well, at 30% as much affordable housing as this community district is. And one of the ways that this has happened is that these council members have used the process of member deference over the last 10 years to want any affordable housing in their districts. And I think that's wrong. I think it's unfair that some neighborhoods are building almost more than 3 times as much affordable housing as what's happening in the city. And the Charter Revision Committee is pursuing some reforms that help even the playing field and make it so that the most affluent parts of their city can no longer block affordable housing. We discussed this during the meeting. I think it's a mistake to say we're opposed to those changes. The recommendations we're making right now to help even the playing field will not really use the playing field. They're bureaucratic. They're saying we want reviews every 5 to 10 years. That's not what we're solving the problem. So I'm probably voting against this. And don't stop talking now. It's now 45 seconds left.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to add to the comments that Matt just made. Again, we did have extensive discussion on this. And I want to clarify something that was sort of discussed in the framing of this, right? The proposal, I think that this resolution speaks strongly against is it talks about certain projects being exempted from the ULURP process. And I think that's where it's left in the framing. But what the proposal is actually about is certain projects in which, namely affordable housing projects, might be some that are worth considering, especially over the objection of some of these council members and in council districts where they've been able to block everything year after year using the same exact ULURP process that this resolution speaks very strongly of and is in favor of expanding in some ways. And so I understand the awkwardness, right? ULURP is the process in which community boards get to have an influence on these kinds of zoning variances. However, ULURP is also the process that other more affluent communities have used to block affordable housing development in their communities. So this is actually worth discussing. It's an interesting challenge for us to grapple with, and I don't want the room to walk away with the idea that all of us are just blanketly opposed to everything. There's nuance there. It's worth engaging. Thank you very much. Order of the day, we are order of the day, please. Order of the day. Only one recognized by the chair. Thank you, Mr. Go ahead, Ms. Westbrook. Yeah. Ms. Boyd, remember to take that floor.
Hello, I'm Teresa Westphal, I serve on the Buildings Committee. I just want to make sure that the language that we're voting on tonight is the same that we voted on in the committee. We spent a lot of time on this. I want to make sure there's no changes to the language before we vote on it. Because it's really hard to sit here and compare because it's a long resolution, and I support this. I don't believe that we should have language in what is our Constitution, taking away any power or rights that we have as a community board or that our council has. I think we should not take this away and enable the mayor to have dictatorial power over this basic change in the Constitution. I want part of the reign for the city council, the community boards. That's what the community board was created for the yearly process, to have oversight. So please, let's continue that as it is and not change it. This is very dangerous. So I'm going to vote. When I go to the ballot box, I'm going to vote no, and I'm going to vote yes for what we designed here because we worked hard. So thank you, everyone. And I just want to make sure some people, there are any changes.
So I just want to assure Teresa and everyone else that this is exactly what we voted on in committee. You guys actually got the marked up copy in your back. You guys actually received the marked up copy in your packets by accident. And the clean copy is this one. And they are exactly the same. It's just that it's incredibly hard to read the marked up copy. I'm not sure why that went up. I also just want to note that we have a 10-member committee. We have 9 members present who are voting, and 9 people voted in favor of this. There was a long discussion. It is a very nuanced discussion, and I'm actually quite concerned that when we go to the ballot box in November, that most people won't know what these changes are about. The changes that are being proposed would actually eliminate council review altogether for certain types of developments and certain classes of developments, right? So
Order of the day.
So it's not talking about, making it less easy for one council member to block development in their district, because there actually is no process or no policy called council member ethics. That's a political, that is a political practice that arose basically because 51 council members can't know everything about every district. But as I said earlier, that has never been tested in an open vote in the council. The city council has never voted no to a development of rezoning proposal where the local council member has said no, but the city planning commission has said yes. Every time the city planning commission has said yes, and to our knowledge, every proposal that goes before the city planning commission gets approved, and it goes to the council, those proposals are approved. We have never heard of a development proposal that was blocked by the council. So although there is a fear that local council member opposition can block development, that has never been tested, and it has never been tested since the passage of the Fair Housing Framework, which is designed to encourage all of the city council members to look at what kind of housing production every district is doing, just as Max says. There is disparity, but not every council member is aware of this right now. Also, there have been changes to the city's affordable housing policy as a result of the Fair Housing lawsuit that eliminated the community preference for affordable housing. So in the past, it was primarily 1 or 2 local communities that had an interest in affordable housing projects in their district. Now the whole city has an interest because people from other districts can apply and get into affordable housing in the district where it's being proposed. So, before upending the Constitution, as we have, let's see whether this knowledge and these additional proposals change the behavior of the council members. Because, in theory, they have the right to force through an affordable housing project, even if the member from that district opposes it. That chance has just never come up. Because the reality is that the level at which proposals are approved or disapproved is way earlier in the process. It's with the Department of City Planning and the City Planning Commission. And that's where we think reforms should be made to make that process more transparent and shorter. We also are calling for regular environmental reviews. These are not administrative reports. These are very real for our members who are suffering from an enormous wave of new development. It's going to cause, all kinds of issues from sanitation to schools, parking, sewage, and there's been no comprehensive review of the amount of development that has happened and what we need to make that work for us, because the current environmental review process doesn't demand it. So that's what we want to see for every neighborhood at a citywide level. A lot of neighborhoods are suffering from this. Nobody expected the amount of residential development in downtown Brooklyn, for example, that happened. And so they're having problems now that were never expected as part of the original process. So we think a lot of people want to see these regular environmental reviews and want to see infrastructure tied to development. So it is very, very real for everyone who lives here. And finally, we want to give more power to community boards. We want community boards to have direct representation on the City Planning Commission. We have 60 community boards, so this is a very diverse group of people. And we want to see democracy in action. We want to see borough boards and community boards be the ones to represent the views of the city as opposed to some particular developer, even if it's an affordable housing developer.
I don't understand why the community has not had an opportunity to have a hearing on this issue. This is an issue that's going to affect the entire community board. Because there's been no hearing to hear the voice of the community. Why hasn't there been a hearing on it? Yeah, but why hasn't there been a hearing on it?
Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions from the board members regarding the item of the floor? Ms. Cohen, I see you. And just so you know, we're ahead, but we need to make sure we're completing this. We have a couple of items to go ahead.
I just want to say that I know there's a lot of controversy over this amendment a lot, and I feel like we're asking them to vote, but we might not have all the information that we need to vote, so I think we can educated vote on this. That's what's just a little disturbing for me. We're getting tidbits from there and tidbits from there, and like, okay, I've seen the amendment, but there's much more involved in this pages. We know that. We broke it down, I was discussing this and so forth. So what we're really doing is all of us voting on a little bit of knowledge that we have right now on both sides. That is the reason we're disturbing, because it's a huge thing to vote on. It's not an excellent real. I think that people might want to believe was that we're more educated. We can go out and educate the public because, as I said, we'll be voting on this. And you're just checking something and not even anything. We don't. We're not even sure. And I think a few people here.
Okay, well, just to put that at this time, Ms. Cohen. Okay. Was there another man you wanted to speak? Okay. All right. So, hearing no other questions at this time, we'll call the question. First, are there any members of the board who did not respond to roll call? Did not hear the answer? Is everyone? Okay, please go ahead and do the vote. Is there anyone else who showed up after roll call? Please make sure. Signed in? No. Okay, Mr. Joseph. Okay. Ron, are there any other members? Okay. So this time we're going to call the vote. So at this time, we are now going to, we're going to hold the question. I'll ask. Any objection to common consent? All right. Madam Secretary, we'll take the consent to call the roll. Let's go over. Yes, you are in favor. No, you are against. We're going to do this one last roll call. After that, everybody's report. Yes. This is for the charter revision. Yes, if you are in favor. No, you are against. Or you can abstain as well. You do have the right to abstain. Yes. Abstain is an option.
No, it's fine. It was just a notification.
Okay, let's go. Abdul? Nicholas Abdul? Fred Baptiste? Solan Benjamin? Solan? Kat? Joanna Carr? Suki Chang? Kendall Christian? Eve Chloe? So Carrie? Change the vote. Max Davidson. No. Brittany Hamilton. He's at the end. But after the boys? No? Bishop Gonzalez? Baldy Joseph? Ritisha Labari? Thank you. Francisco Leopold? Fran? Christian LeBoy? Andrew Likeness? Electoral Provider? Marcia Maxwell? Marcia Maxwell? Lucky Pucci? Ethan Marvel? Denzel Badoro? Isaiah Kapu? Hassan? Denise Robertson? Vinny Rosenberger? Melissa Sophia?
Abstain.
Debbie Timothy. Linda Watson Ward. Teresa Westerdahl. Joyce Williams. Lorianne Mosley. Steve Zelfer.
Just bear with us one moment. All right, as we are waiting at this time, I do want to recognize that we have a representative from Congresswoman Elaine Clark's office. Mrs. Slatter.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alex Slater. I'm community liaison with Congressman Elaine Clark. I just want to announce we have an upcoming annual job fair. It's being sponsored by the Congresswoman, co-sponsored by Congressman Kim Jeffries, Assemblywoman Latrice Walker, Assemblywoman Wendy Chandler Waterman, and Councilmember Darlene Lee. Now, I don't have the flyers yet, but I will send them to the community board. Also, look at our website, which is clark.house.gov. And that will take place Monday, July 28th. 2025, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Location is at 425 Howard Avenue in Brooklyn. So please, you can contact our office for flyers or the committee board office. Okay. Now, I just want to make a public announcement. People are traveling now, and our office is not stopped calls with people who have expired passports. Also, because of what's going on, unfortunately, in the world, many people are being stuck because of non-fly zones. There is a flyer I left here. It's called STEP, which is Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, which puts you in contact with the State Department. They know where you are, so God forbid you need to be contacted for an emergency, they will contact you. Also, you can get information as far as you get stuck somewhere, how to contact the State Department to get you help to get out. So this is very, very important. I left some flyer, again, take a flyer for STEP. We're located at 222 Lennox Road, which is Yard Sonosvik. Our number is 718-287-1142. As I said before, go to Clark.house.gov. That's all the things that Congressman Clark is involved as far as sponsoring bills, co-sponsoring bills, or voting against bills. So please, there's a lot of information there. I don't want to take up much of your time. Go on that and get thank you again for your time. Wishing everybody a happy and healthy summer.
Thank you very much. Madam Secretary, you have the vote.
4 yes, 20 votes, no, 8, 5 votes, abstain, 10 votes. Go to the third sentence, which is our
Okay. I hear a majority of the board voting in favor. The motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, we are now going to go on to.
It should be, I think the count might be 36. They're saying the count might be 36. Unless somebody left.
Well, one person was here who wasn't, they weren't there, who was absent.
So, 36 people voted. So,
You're right. At that time, it was 36.
okay.
Yeah, there was no.
Until someone left.
Okay. All right, so going back, thank you very much. So going back to the, all right, we're going to go back to the agenda. We're going to go to item B, zoning framework. All right, we're tight. Okay, so the zoning framework was presented earlier by the land use chair. Sorry? All right, so zoning framework presented by the land use chair, approved by the land use committee, moved forward by the executive committee. At this time, are there any questions of the zoning framework? I think speakers, please. Call for a second time. Are there any questions with respect to the zoning framework? Hearing none, I will call. Is there any objections to adopting the zoning framework by common consent? Call for a second time. Is there any objections to adopting the zoning framework by common consent? Hearing no objection, Madam Secretary, please note for the record, zoning framework is adopted by common consent. Okay, at this time, we are now going to move to item D, King for site plan contract matter. This time, I would like member of the this is being taken up from the table from last time.
We're doing it again. I'm not going to quit because we're going over some time, but last. Can you hear me? So we've gone over this last for multiple testimonies from people. Neighbor, can you hear me now? Huh? We've heard testimony from many neighbors and people who live in the community. We've heard that testimony from neighbors who have been around projects for many months. And so this motion is to request that the Patricia James from the Attorney General of New York State convene a impact hearing to allow people to raise their concerns about this project, and so that it should be reported, because a lot of the previous hearings were done in times when it wasn't convenient for everybody to be able to attend, and also some of the, there was a meeting that was, the community was not allowed to speak, so we want to make sure that the community will be heard at this hearing. So this motion is to request that the AG convene such a meeting before further action is taken on this project.
All right, thank you very much. Before you go. So, again, so this motion was brought up at the last board meeting. It was tabled. It was considered at the executive committee, which moved to bring it back from the table. So that's why we consider this. Mr. Rosenberger is presented. Are there any questions for Mr. Rosenberger regarding this motion?
It's a state project, and therefore it's a privilege. She should go back to sign off on it. We want to go forward, so that's why we want her to be involved.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions regarding this motion? All right. Hearing no questions, is there any objection to adopting this by common consent? Yes. All right. I do hear an objection. All right. At this time, we're going to call for a vote. We've already taken a roll call with all board members who are here. All board members who are in favor of the motion, as stated, please say aye. Aye. Okay. All members who wish to vote no, please state your name for the record. Yes. Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to report a no vote on this motion? Anyone else? Yeah. That's right, sir. One thing here. Anyone else wish to report a no vote? All right. Are there any members who wish to abstain on this motion at this time? Hold on a second. Okay. Hold your hand down. Molly Joseph. Okay. I see Mr. Davidson. I think I'm Mr. Davidson. Member Thompson. Benjamin? Member Benjamin? Member Freeman? Anyone else who wants to abstain at this time? All right, so we are 2 noes and 5 abstentions. I get a majority of the board voting in favor. The motion carries. The resolution is done. Thank you. At this time, we do not have any new business, but we do have a concern. We're going to get to that momentarily as well. If we come to the front, please, or actually, run the microphone for Ms. Coleman. Hold on 1 second.
It's Albany between Lefferts and East New York.
Okay. For a quick moment, we're still allowed to chair for Parks and Recreation. We'll address the person.
2 years ago, we did a review of all the parks with the Open Door Commission. I'm interested in what we have done to. Still of your situation, there's some the park, behind MS16 is just in that shape. We do have access to the person, that is in charge of the park in the area. I wish I knew that as soon as you know, we have started the meeting and addressed it, but I feel like this one we should be one of our priorities instead of a meeting, the board commissioner to find out why this park is in this condition. He did tell us why this is in this condition, so we know so we can advocate. I would love to talk more with you because one of the projects that I'm working on is to do a biennial conference where we meet all the park operation community to discuss what is happening to all the parks, community garden, and playground. This process is already on the way. I already submitted that to the board president. This is something we can bring that right away. Another thing we find out how we could get park fixed is your local councilman. I live in a block where there's a park, which is Winthrop Park. They had a lot of problems in there with water running. She was very restricted on getting it fixed. She took upon herself to bring the poor commissioner to see the park. So we can get that done at least. If I was aware of it, we could have done something. Now, right I'm here, Robin, I'm looking forward to talking to you more about it, to see what we can do to get it to as soon as possible. Because some of these situations are very dangerous to children. They're going to get hurt. And that's what, because I know that this is the park in my block, and that didn't take too long.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. So, Parks Chair, he's going to look at that. The Chair already agreed to look at that. But also, Dante, if I could ask you to follow up with this moment as well. We're going to have a moment. If you follow up with this moment, if there are any others advised as well, if you see any unsafe conditions Okay, hold on. Understood. And just make sure that you got a couple of things where to go. Specific complaints, especially if it's a dangerous complaint, please make sure that the Dante will let them know, let Dante know the numbers so we can follow the testimony as well. The city keeps track of numbers. So how many complaints, where these complaints happen, that's very important. So making sure, especially if it's a dangerous situation. But we'll make sure we follow it. It's Hamilton Men's Park. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
We actually have another land use motion. I mentioned it when I stood up the first time regarding Kingsborough Jewish, which is different than Kingsborough Psychiatric. Sorry, there's actually another land use motion regarding Kingsborough Jewish Hospital, which is separate from Kingsborough Psychiatric. It was sent to the office and went up to the executive, but I think there was like a miscommunication with so many motions. So with your permission, can I remove the motion? I mean, what we discussed was that it was going to be a request for information since she has to approve.
I don't think so. No, I'm not saying what you said. I'm saying is the executive just put it on the agenda. But I think there was some other work that we were going to do.
So that's the answer that the government is sent. The letter was sent by
You're also looking where it has All right, at this time, we're going to call the sheriff. All right, before we lose, at this time, if I can call the chair, the nomination committee with the results.
Hello. I have the total votes. Your new chairperson is your old chairperson, Fred Baptiste. The first vice chairperson, Ethan Moore. Okay, I'll do that now. Let me just announce it. Okay. Fred Baptiste. Hello? Okay. 35 votes for Fred and 1 write-in for chairperson. For first vice chairperson, 13 votes for Sol, 23 votes for Ethan. So Ethan is the first vice chairperson. For second vice chairperson, the
Any other board members who have not submitted the ballot? Please hold your ballot until you submit it.
CCELLO. Lisa's last name is Etieenne.
Final poll, you have not submitted. Okay, any other members who have ballots? Final call. Anyone else who's got a ballot?
Thank you.
All right, just bear with us a moment. So listen, so as the nominations committee is doing that, final remarks. Again, I think I just want to make sure we thank everyone. Again, thank you everyone. Please make sure your contact information with the board is correct. There are no meetings scheduled for the summer, but there's a lot of communications that will be happening. So please make sure that so keep on top of what's going on. We can send you the information you need to have. We can make sure that we can hit the ground running when we come back to the board, okay? Just turn around now to take it out. One, I want to thank St. Francis for them for allowing us to be here. Obviously, we understand that this is an unexpected change in terms of we weren't able to meet last week, the emergency. So I thank everyone that I have that we wanted for safety was paramount importance. We didn't want to bring anybody out of the environment that was not losing safety. Thank you, St. Francis. I want to say thank you, and it's for a typical home where we've been doing years of the year. Some of the work we've also been doing that we'll be working on over the summer is also trying to get dates as far in advance as we can. One of the things we would like you to notice on the calendar is when the fall comes. We typically meet on the fourth Tuesdays of the month. The months of September, October, November, and December, because the holiday observances always end up being during months. So your normally scheduled meetings will probably be on other days. When we hit the new year, that's when we tend to fall more back into a schedule. But I'm just asking right now, I'm be patient. We're going to make sure we look to make sure we identify where the conference will exist. Meetings will be moving, but we just have to try and get as flexible as we can and try and make sure you go to meetings. We're trying to make sure that we're respecting all the observances, but that means we need people to come to the committee meetings. If we don't have form or not able to do the work that we need to do. All right, so this past everyone is kind of document that. I continue to tap dance at this time. I also want to just take an opportunity for all those new members of CD9. I want to thank you because I know you're coming in at a very difficult time. They throw you right in the deep end and they tell you all of a sudden select you officers for the board to be prepared to know. So I understand that. So I thank you very much. And I think all of you are polite, so polite.
So your new member at large will be Pat Pichello. She got 19 votes. Lisa will be 15 votes, and it's one left. Sorry. So the new member at large will be Catherine Pichello with 19 votes. Congratulations. And 15 votes for Lisa. For choice and one left. That is it. That is all. Thank you, everyone.
All right, with that, I have a look at our officers. We have completed our agenda. I thank everyone. Please have a safe summer.
Until next summer.
Madam Secretary.